The title for our message today is Teachers of His Way. Now, I've been asking you different times, why did you come? Why did you come to services? What are the reasons that you come? And I wanted to entertain the idea that one of the reasons we're coming, in addition to learning the truth and because we're commanded to, things like that, but also we're learning how to teach it, learning how to teach God's truth. And so when we're talking about teaching, what goes into it? What goes into that mind that we have that will give us an edge or an ability to do what we of ourselves probably wouldn't necessarily be able to do unless you have natural talent, for teaching. But one of the things that I want to emphasize today is the working of the Holy Spirit in us. And it's through the Holy Spirit that we are given a kind of an ability and a desire to want to share, to want to give. When the people were given the Holy Spirit, we can go to Acts chapter 2. Acts chapter 2. This is the earliest days. We learned this material during Pentecost Day. Pentecost Day, we go over this material in Acts chapter 2. But when the brethren, they were filled, in verse 4, chapter 2, verse 4, they were all filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak with other tongues as the Spirit gave them utterance. What I'm trying to emphasize here isn't so much the word tongues, but the emphasis is on that they were filled with the Spirit and began to speak. And there should be, what I'm saying is we're desirous of increasing in the ability of speaking, projecting, granting, giving out of what God has to say and what He wants to give to everyone. We're learning how to teach it, how to give it. So I wanted to ask you a question. I brought with me a little prop, tiny little props. See these guys here? What are these? Can't see them yet. Batteries. They're AA batteries. If you were to ask God, you could ask Him anytime you want to, but if you were to ask God, Father, when you look at me and you evaluate how much Holy Spirit I have, how much do I have? Do I have 2 AA batteries worth? 1 battery's worth? Half a battery's worth? Do I have a car battery's worth of Holy Spirit? What quantity, if you will, of power do I have to do what you want me to do? You told me we're going to teach. You told the brethren they were going to teach. The disciple Peter, if we go to Acts 2 in verses 17 to 18, he's quoting from Joel, the book of Joel. And he says, "And it shall come to pass in the last days, says God, that I will pour out my Spirit on all flesh. Your sons and your daughters shall prophesy. Your young men shall see visions. Your old men shall dream dreams. And on my men servants and on my maid servants I will pour out my Spirit in those days, and they shall prophesy." Now the we prophecy is His Spirit poured out on us. Like I said, maybe I just have 2 AA batteries worth of Holy Spirit in me. I don't know what I have, frankly. I don't know if any of us would know the quantity of His Spirit that we have. But guarantee one thing, we probably all need more. Okay? Whatever amount we have, if you look on his little gauge that he has, and he has a gauge for Bill. And Bill's gauge says that Bill's quantity of Holy Spirit is whatever it is. But it probably isn't on F for full. It's probably more near toward E. You know? Which side of it, of the gauge it would be on, I don't know. But only God knows. But the point I'm making, again, is that we all need more. And so to do what he's asking us and commanding us to do, that's our objective. Why are we here? Remember I asked, why are we here? One of the reasons, again, we're here because we're commanded to be, etc. But do you have, and this is something that Chuck Smith constantly is emphasizing with us, we're all going to be teachers of this truth. We're all going to have our day when we are going to teach. You'll be up here at the front. You'll be the one speaking, whether it's in the world tomorrow or in this life now, whatever, either side of the kingdom, we will have an opportunity, and we're going to speak about God's way to everyone. And so I think about what the Apostle Paul was talking about to the brethren there in Corinthians. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 1. 1 Corinthians 14 and verse 1. It says, "Pursue love and desire spiritual gifts, but especially that you may prophesy." If you look at this chapter, chapter 14 is all about the use of language. When it says tongues, don't get confused with the word tongues. Have in mind the idea of a language that people are understanding. Paul was talking about how people will talk in haughty language, or, think of all the different languages there are just within English, okay? You talk to computer people and listen to the language they have to describe all the effects and the parts and pieces of computers and how they work and software programs, etc. And there are phrases and there are words and there are different kinds of word pictures that will help them understand. And they know what they're talking about. You talk to truck drivers, you talk to mechanics, you talk to anybody that does different things. They have their language that they use within the realm that they're in. But they can also think, well, I know more than you do, because I know what those words mean, right? You don't, you knucklehead. I know, right? I mean, that's the thinking. Paul is trying to get us to don't think that way. Don't ever think that way. Don't ever think that you're above or superior to anyone. With I know, when they know, make your language so that they get the picture. And that's why he's talking about. But follow, brethren. 1 Corinthians 12. Do a study on your own. But I'm just giving an overview today. It's only a sermonette. Chapter 12 talks about the gifts that we have. We're all given various gifts. Each one of us have a gift for something. And we all have the ability to excel at the gifts that we have. He's given them all to us. But he's given them, as he points out, to make the whole church full and make it abundant and make it complete. Because everybody puts in a different aspect, like the ear or the eye or the mouth or whatever different parts he's describing. But then he follows it up with chapter 13, because all those gifts are all running together in our minds, in our beings, in our congregation. What is gelling it together is the love. We have to have the love go running through us. That charity, as it says in the Old King James, but it's love, this aspect of either the agape love of God or the filius love of friendship, one to the other. And it's in that love is flowing through us. It's supposed to be. That's one of the aspects of the Holy Spirit. The fruit of the Holy Spirit, Genesis, what is it? No, not Genesis, Galatians. Fruit of the Holy Spirit, love, joy, peace. Love is the main ingredient in the expression of the Holy Spirit. So When you get to chapter 14 and he says pursue love, he's been establishing the love necessity. And now what do you do with it? You want to speak it. It's a natural, it should be. And this is, when I have only 2 triple AA batteries worth of Holy Spirit in me, if that's all I have, that's the only amount of power I have, then naturally I'm not going to really want to project the way he would like me to, because I only have a little bit of power, right? But if we have the kind of power that he had or wanted to have or wants us to have, either way, boy, can we imagine what we could do? No, we don't really know. I don't think any of us really understand the grasp of what he wants us to become. Because we're all at a certain level. That's not a criticism, it's just a statement of reality of where we are. So the point of my message, our message, is that we all can work on improving it. Whatever level you are at, you all want to improve it and grow in it. And then we come out better than we are now with God's help. And I was thinking about, Matthew 13 gives it a verse there is very important. Matthew 13, verse 58. We're not going to turn to it. Jesus was limited. He went to this certain city, and he couldn't do mighty works there. The people limited even Jesus. He couldn't do mighty works. It says because of their unbelief. Are we limiting ourselves because of our unbelief? There's enough unbelief stuck in this old head that limits me, okay? And that little unbelief, as much as whatever it is, quantity-wise, it probably restricts the Holy Spirit from acting. And so I go, Father, would you help me? And this takes some real prayers, brethren, and fastings to ask God. We know he says about hidden sins, things that are running down inside of us, down inside of that brain that operate, that are restricting him. And we don't, it takes God's power and might to do that, to get through to us. And it's not a criticism. It's to say, wherever we are, whatever level you are at, we can grow, which is what he wants. I'm sure what he wants. Here's another thing, Leviticus 19 and verse 18. Leviticus 19. It's one of those foundational verses. Everything's got to be based on this. Leviticus 19 and verse 18. 19 and verse 18. You shall not take vengeance nor bear any grudge against the children of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. The 2 great commandments that Jesus gave, Matthew 22. Another thing about the Holy Spirit to consider is the Matthew 25 episode where Jesus is describing the virgins, the 10 virgins. And do you think that all 10 of them thought initially that they had enough oil to make it all the way? Yes, all 10 of them thought at the beginning, oh, sure, I've got enough, I can last, I'll make it. When he comes, no problem. Only to find out that 5 of them, hey, my oil's running out. Hey, can you give me some, Stan, give me some of your oil. And you say, I just need enough for myself. You go to the store and buy some. Well, by the time you go to the store and get some, it's too late. He already came back. So everybody thought, where does Bill think that he is at on that? You all are in the same boat, all of us. So do we want to make sure that, boy, there's a lot of oil in there. There's enough. And it comes from him. So we have to go and ask for it, beseeching him diligently, please grant me, and help me overcome that restriction, whatever it is that I do that limits me. So that's what I'm saying, brethren, and I hope that we we can learn, grow, and adapt, and just once we're full of, once we have some of his Spirit the way he wants us to have it, boy, we're going to take off. What can be accomplished when God's power is mighty? It is awesome. We don't know what it's like, actually, but let's keep going in the direction to get there, to reach that level. And by serious determination to see that it comes through.